Hey everyone, Coach Chris here. In this strength and conditioning class, we will look at legs. So we're going to do some strength work, some balance work as well. So it's perfect for runners, great for triathletes, cyclists, other endurance athletes. If you're one of those, or you just want to get your legs a bit stronger, and we'll do a bit of core work too, then this is the class for you. We'll start with a warm-up. The first thing we want to do is just get the whole body, just get the temperature raised a bit so we're ready to work. And we'll do that by starting with a march. And every 10 steps or so, just hit the floor. Alternating hands. As ever, we'll do the class. No music. So you can stick your own music on, you're not stuck with the music that I like. Don't think many people would enjoy that. Now, if you've got a mat out, let's just walk along the mat. So tiptoes on the way there, heels on the way back. Just warming up the feet, warming up the muscles in the feet, activating those muscles. Let's go back to the center. This time we're going to aim for higher knees. And let's add some heel flicks. Just kicking your own bottom. And then we're going to squeeze into our core as we extend our leg forward. Little bend down, sitting down like a lunge. And then let's move into some speed skaters. So foot forward, other foot extends out behind it. Need to be careful not to kick my turbo trainer. That looks like an accident waiting to happen. Try and keep my head in the frame. Great, so you should be feeling a bit warmer by now. You won't need any props for this class, but it would be helpful if you have a chair, a stool, a bench, a sofa, anything that you can stick your leg on at some point. We'll cover that when we get into it, but if you don't have that, don't worry, I'll give you options. So let's work on really activating those muscles now. And we'll do that with a bit of a crab walk. So you can start at either end. If you've got a wider space than I have, use it. I'm going to try and stay in focus in the camera, but just drop down into a squat. Keeping everything straight, we don't want to be collapsing in. Too easy, get lower down. Too hard, come up a bit. Two more. Final one. Now if you've got a mat, that'll be helpful. If not, don't worry about it. It's hopefully on a soft surface. But we're going to go into some oysters. Really like these all round. Use them good for core and posterior chain as well. So 90-degree bend in your legs, and then just open and close. And we'll do 15 of these on each side. You're pulling up from the knee. $12, $13, $14, $15. You can just roll over. I'm going to keep facing the camera and see if I can do this without crushing the microphone. Again, 90-degree bend there. Otherwise you're in a straight line. And off we go. And 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, great. Now we're going to some long jumps. Static start, nice deep bend, use your arms to jump up, and then a soft landing. Nothing too hard, we're still quite early in the practice, so we're still warming up. 3, let's aim for 8. 6, 2 more to go. Good, hopefully those legs are feeling activated now. And we're gonna move on to the next one, is kind of stop and stick thing. It's a good exercise for balance. And all we're gonna do, standing here, raise the leg up, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Everything should be 90 degrees. And then just step forward and do the other leg. Don't want to be leaning back. Don't want to be leaning forward. Try and keep straight up. And when you get to the end, just turn around and go the other way. There's a number of progressions. And I'm losing my balance as I try to talk and demo. If you're feeling comfortable with that, then you can go up onto your tiptoes. So take a step, get into position, push up onto your toes and try and stay there. End up jumping a bit forward. That's okay. If you can't balance on your tiptoes, don't worry. Just keep doing the classic. But if you're finding it too easy, try pushing up onto your tiptoes. Adds an extra balance challenge. Why is this important? Well, it's super important for runners because it's all about economy. If you're familiar with the theory of how you run faster, it's traditionally drawn as a triangle. So you've got VO2 max, you've got lactate threshold, and you've got economy, how efficiently you run. If you've got so much energy, how far can that get you? Now, if you don't have the ability to balance and hold your core, you're going to be wobbling around, you're going to lose energy, it's not going to be driving you forward, and you're going to waste a lot of that energy. Whereas if you look at someone like Kipchoge, world champion marathon runner, incredibly efficient runner, doesn't waste energy. And that's because he presumably has great balance and isn't constantly wobbling around, letting his hips die down. If you watch elite marathon runners, they're like cartoon characters where the upper body just doesn't move that much, and yet the legs are spinning round in a kind of dusty circle just because they're so efficient. So I'm going to grab a quick drink before we go into the heavier work. And the first thing we're going to do here is calf raises, my all-time favourite. I'm going to do single leg calf raises, and there's a ton of options here. So if you're finding single leg too hard, you just do double legs. Just go up and down, nice and easy. If you want a bit more of a challenge and you happen to have a block or a step or a yellow pages that you've kept since the 90s. You can stand on that, and that will allow you just to drop your heels a little bit more and push up, give you a bit of an extra strain. Or you can wrap up a towel, stick that under your toes, get some pressure on your plantar fascia there. And if you need to go over to a wall and hold on, that's fine. But for now, if you can manage it, I can just about, I really would recommend a wall. And let's try and do so a good number for calf raises is 30 single-legged. If you're finding that too hard, do less. The burn really kicks in with calf raises, and so you don't want to push it too far. And if you're finding it too hard to do single leg, don't worry, double leg is fine. Whoop. And just drop out whenever you need to. It took me ages to get up to 30 per side. Just doing calf raises every day. There's one exercise I think runners should do every day. It's a good calf raise. But my calves hurt a lot. Maybe yours don't. Can be good for balance to do it without a wall, but to be honest, I really want you working on your calves in this exercise and not your balance. And I'm mostly working on my balance, trying to demo this in the middle of the screen. And if you're doing that, you're really not going to be able to push up to your maximum level. They're just going to be a bit rubbish, like mine were. So hopefully you've got a wall to balance with so you can concentrate on just doing the calves. Next up, we're going to move into squats. Now, if you've not done squats much, and let's face it, who has time to do 10,000 squats to learn the perfect movement? One thing is super useful is if you just grab a chair, because that movement of sitting down into a chair is the exact thing we want. That's the movement when we're doing a squat. And so it can be good, even when I'm doing weighted squats in the gym, I'll start off by just sitting down 10 times in a row, just to remind myself of what the movement feels like. But the key is, you want to go down, you don't want your knees falling forward, you don't want your chest collapsing forward. You want to keep your chest up, way higher than mine is. I've certainly not got perfect squat technique, but the more vertical you can keep your chest, the better. And instead of doing a load of reps, we're just going to go down and we're just going to hold while hanging out. If you do a lot of yoga, you might be used to this position, but actually putting ourselves in a bit of pressure like this, rather than the classic squat of going up and down, can really work those muscles in a bit more of a burn. Hanging out here, breathing deeply, trying to keep our chest up and our legs down. 5 more seconds. Nice, easy breaths. And come up. We'll do that twice more. So hopefully your legs are not completely on fire. Maybe they're not on fire at all and you're thinking, why is he saying they're on fire? He's clearly not very good. But I hope you're not thinking that. I do strength and conditioning to allow me to run. I have no interest in being world's strongest man. Let's go down again and just hold that position. Weight wants to be into your heels. So bum down, chest up. Use your hands for balance. And we'll just hang out here. We'll take nice deep breaths. Push for another 10 seconds. Good job, come up. One more, and then we're done. And we're going back to the calf raises. You'll be excited to know. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and let's go down into that squat position again. Got my legs a tad too wide. They want to be roughly hip width apart. Ooh. Nice time to do a bit of mindfulness. Notice the sensations of our body without realizing that we have to react to them or do anything to them. We can just keep breathing. Let's do another 15 seconds and then we are done with this bit. Halfway there. Great job, come up. So next off, we're going to go back to the calf raises, but this time we're going to do them with bent legs. So this will give us a slightly different bit of work. Legs stay bent. You can go single legged again if you really want. I'm going to go double leg this time. And same thing again, legs bent the whole way, hips are back. Knees shouldn't come over the toes. Try and push up equally with both feet. It's very easy to let your stronger side do all the work or not push up quite as high on the other side. We'll aim for 30, but if you need to bail out earlier, that is completely fine. And we'll do 2 sets of these. If anyone's doing single leg, you can do each leg. For the rest of us, we'll just do 2 sets of 30. So we'll give our legs a bit of time to recover. As I was discussing earlier, if you want to run faster, if you want to cycle faster, then you've got your VO2 max and you've got your lactate threshold. A lot of genetic determination in there though, whereas economy, running economy, cycling economy, and especially, you know, we know how important technique is in swimming, if you're a swimmer or a triathlete, but actually technique in run and cycling is the thing that you can really work on to get faster too. Traditionally taught in that triangle of lactate threshold, VO2 max and economy. At Resilient we teach it as a diamond, and the missing point there is resilience or mental strength, as you can imagine from the name. But that economy is really important and something that you can really train into. So let's go again. Let's do another 30 bent legs and just raising up those calves. If you're finding this class too easy, then you can always pause the video and do more reps. Similarly, if you're finding it too hard, then just pause it and take a break. Or feel free to sit any of them out. It doesn't really, once you're through the warm-up, it doesn't really build. So you can do some exercises and not the others, and you're not going to have missed out a vital stage. Not really sure where we are. Let's do 3 more. So So I'm sure, like me, you absolutely love to do lunges, and you'll be pleased to know I'm going to do a couple of lunges now. Good lunge, step forward, go down, keep the chest up, come up, step back. It's like a 4-stage process. If you're finding that your technique just isn't that good, then you can always do a reverse lunge, in which case step back, go down, come up, step forward again. I'm going to do the standard lunge. Good thing to do weighted as well. I'm not going to teach that, but as you progress onwards, you might want to look into that later. So let's step forward, go down, up and back. And let's do 5 on each leg. Really encourage you to start on your weaker leg here, because that will, especially if you're doing a number of reps, that'll be a good way to determine what you can push your limit to. You don't want to do your stronger leg first and then realize that actually you can't do that on your weaker leg, and you're increasing that imbalance. If you start by pushing your weaker leg to the limit and then matching that with your stronger leg, you should get a better sense of balance, at least not aggravate that any further. So let's do another 5 sets of those. I'm going to swap round this time and step forward with my left leg first. Five is probably too few reps to do unweighted, but I don't like lunges. Is that hard? Or maybe boring. I think it's that they're boring. Great job. So now we're going to get down to the mat and we're going to do some planking. Planking is not particularly legs, it's more core particularly, and also upper body. But it's just such a damn good exercise that I don't think I'm ever going to teach a class without some planking in. So if you come down onto your hands and knees, and then we're going to push up into a high plank to start with. And we'll just hang out here and breathe. I'm going to hold this for 20 seconds. So if you're a serious planker, you won't have any problems. Not sure plank is a great word, but I can definitely get my technique better there. Get that body more in line. Come down onto your elbows. And we'll just hold it here for 20 seconds as well. And then we're going to lift each leg up in turn. So let's lift up the right leg. Again, 20 seconds. The leg is feeling it a bit now. 5 more seconds to go. And left leg. Readjust your technique if you need. 2 seconds, 1 second, and you can drop down. Oh, I used to try and plank for as long as I could, and then I looked at the research and a lot of it said actually you're best planking for 20 seconds and then doing a different plank, which suits me. I don't mind switching after 20 seconds. Holding a plank for 2 or 3 minutes is just the longest experience of your life. So next we're going to do some split squats, which is where we will stick a leg on a sofa, on a chair, on a stool, on a bench, on a box outside, whatever you've got. If you haven't got anything, that's fine, and then just do a static lunge. So just go into a lunge position And it's the same thing, your back foot stays solid and you just go down and come up. But if you've got something to put your foot on, then I would recommend you using that, because it'll just work it in a slightly different way. So we want our front leg to do the work here. Our back leg is really there just for balance, and you can play around with the perfect distance. Let's go ahead, down and up. Same for 10 of these on each side, so we're halfway already. Again, your upper body wants to stay as vertical as possible. Give it a minute to shake out. And then we'll move on to the other side. So again, get that positioning you feel comfortable with, which will depend on how good your balance is. And also as you move it forward and backwards, it will change where you feel it slightly. And let's go again. Five, we're halfway. If you need to slow down to get your technique right, then slow down. It's not a race. We always want good technique and good form over sweating at as many reps as possible. The same with the lunges. If you need to go to a reverse lunge to get your technique correct, better to do that than try and plow on with bad technique. We'll do some glute bridges next. And again, this is something you're going to want a chair or a sofa or a block for something if you can. So we're going to do them single legged. So the way that's going to look like, if I can hopefully keep showing you what I'm doing, I'm going to put one foot on here, get your bum as close as possible. And we're going to push up like that. If you haven't got a block, that's fine. Then just do it on the mat. It's not going to give us quite as good effect as we want, but it will still work fine. So your bum's squished up against it. Push up into that glute position and then just raise your other leg. You can go until fatigue. I'm going to do 12. And then switch to the other side. I'm going to face away here. Maybe I can get back into the camera, looking upside down. And again, just bring the leg you're raising down to roughly in line with the other one. Then push up. And you should be feeling it on the leg that you've got down, not the leg you're raising. Let's go through 2 sets of these. So we'll give our legs a minute to recover and then we'll go again. It's not super taxing, but it can really work the outside of our legs that maybe doesn't get a lot of the attention that it needs. And so we don't want to push it too hard with these. Okay, let's go again. So push up into that glute bridge position, and then again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And swap legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, nicely done. Let's come back up onto our feet, and I've got another balance exercise for you. This one is called compass points. So you're going to transfer all of the weight into one leg, and then we're just going to draw compass points with our other leg. So north, east, south, west. Go around 3 times. And you want to do this without, as much as possible, while staying up straight. So ideally, you're not going to be tipping over to the side. That's almost impossible unless you're very good at this, I find. So there's always going to be some transference as you move sideways, but as far as possible, in fact, let's do the other leg. You're not tipping over this way to conduct your balance. You're just staying really strong. So it's a good exercise in staying upright, staying strong, which we need for efficient running, and a good balance exercise as well. Let's do 2 sets of these. Good way to see if you've got an imbalance in your balance. Imbalance in your balance. Are you able to stay up straight easier on one side than you are on the other? Okay, nice. You're pleased to know that's the hard work done. We're going to use a nice warm bodies to do a bit of stretching. Let's do some classics and then we'll do some more interesting. So first one is another balance challenge. It's that quad stretch. Make sure that you thrust your hips forward. If you just bend over, no stretch. You need to push these hips forward. Keep them facing forward like car headlights. And that'll be what really squeezes in to your squats. Hopefully with all the balance work you're already feeling like you can just hold it here forever. Cool, let's do the other leg. Again, thrusting those hips forward. You've got car headlights on your hips, beaming straight forward. Nice, okay. Next we're going to do a nice easy car stretch. So bend one leg, bend into one leg, keep the other leg straight, point the toes up, and then just sit back till you feel that stretch in your calf. Doesn't matter too much what you do with your upper body. Generally with stretches, the longer you hold them, the more benefit you're going to get. There are diminishing returns to that. No point holding a stretch for 20 minutes when you could do multiple stretches, but if you've got time, staying in a stretch for a couple of minutes or at least 30 seconds will be when the real benefit kicks in. A couple of seconds stretching, not super beneficial. Okay, next let's work the whole of the back of our legs with a forward fold. So feet hip width apart, and we're just going to bend at the hips, fall forward. You can grab each elbow if you want, or if you want to have your hands down, that's fine. It's okay to have a slight bend in your knees. And let's just hang out here for a little bit. You can let everything go. Just relax into this position. Should be feeling it all the way down the backs of your legs. You might need to wiggle a little. Try to avoid letting all the weight tip forward into the balls of your feet. Nice, easy balance. As we go on, you might be able to bend a little bit deeper. A nice easy breath should be cooling down now. And let's come up. Okay, final stretch. I'm going to do a pigeon. Let me just move that back. So, easy way, start on hands and knees. Take whichever leg you want to start on. I'm going to start with my right. Come in, fold it across. Doesn't have to go perpendicular to your mat. If it's a little bit behind, that's fine. Push the back leg out as well. And then just sink down. So wherever pigeon looks massively different depending on your levels of flexibility. If you're here, that's fine. If your leg's further back, that's fine. If you've got your leg perpendicular to the long edges of your mat, that's good. If you're up here, that's fine. If you want to come down into here, also fine. Whatever lets you feel the stretch the most. Ooh. And then just try and relax as much as possible here. As much as pigeon can ever be relaxing. As I said, there's a lot of people stretch for a couple of seconds, and if you do that, you are gonna get no results. Because if you really want to benefit from the stretches, it's a minimum hold time of around 30 seconds. And which is annoying because who wants to hang out in a stretch for long periods of time? But that's the time that makes it effective, unfortunately. Let's do the other leg. So push it back into hands and knees. Take your other leg across. Wiggle it into position. Take the back leg back. And then just settle in. Find that position that's tolerably uncomfortable. Oh. Hope you've enjoyed this class. We've got some other classes on strength and conditioning, plus a load of other videos. So if you've enjoyed this one, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to get more content like this. Let's just give this another 10 seconds and then we are finished. Nice. That's the end of today's class. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.